early December. South Texas. It's the first good cold front of the season, and the bucks are in full rut. This week on the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries, we're featuring the Smith Wesson Model 1854, a classic lever-action rifle, available in multiple configurations and calibers.
Smith & Wesson, the Model 1854, has quickly become one of the most popular hunter and hunting versions of lever action, as well as the cowboy action type stuff. The variety of calibers that Smith & Wesson continues to come out with in the 1854 lineup allows you to really pick a lot of different options out there, from traditional big game hunting, for really big game, all the way down to, coyote hunting.
Pick your choice of 30-30, 357, or 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, and more. You also get your choice of stocks and barrel length. The 1854 is a versatile and capable rifle.
The 1854 is really a workhorse if you look at it. A lot of guys can put it in their trucks or their side-by-sides, hanging it on their ATVs while they're out in the ranching world, working world, run into some coyotes, run into some hogs that need to be eradicated, or just want to go plinking. And then for hunters as well, in a situation like me, you can pick the caliber that really suits you. And in my case, that's really important because I like to spend time with a lot of different calibers, hunting and learning and experiencing what each caliber offers. All right, load up we're shooting the 45 Colt right here. This is pretty unique round in my opinion in what it does, its power, its speed, and the diversity that it offers. We're going to be shooting it out of a Model 1854 Smith & Wesson lever action rifle right here. We've got a Trijicon Huron 1x4 scope by 24. This is, what I would call tight, confines, being able to move around very fast, cover a lot of ground, very comfortable gun to shoot, very low recoil, which is something I've got to admit I enjoy. You can do a lot with this round. It's got plenty of energy, and to be able to give you downrange terminal performance at the end of the day when you're trying to knock down a deer or a hog or target shoot, taking out varmints, whatever it may be. You just got to understand the limitations of the round, understand the limitations of yourself and your gun, and that's why I advocate spending time on the range, shooting it, dialing it in, shooting different brands of ammo, because you're going to have different performances out of each one of them. And that's what I'm getting ready to do here. I've actually got my Garmin chronograph set up over here so I can really get a sense to, the actual speed that this, bullet is creating. Most manufacturers, when you look on the box right here, it's gonna have, a general reference, but I like to check it. I like the same situation I do with my bows and my crossbows, handguns, everything. I like to check it. I like to see what I've got, how it's performing, just to have confidence in everything that I'm doing. And really this 45, somewhere around 1,000 feet per second should be what we're seeing out of the muzzle. And then obviously as the bullet, goes, it's gonna lose energy, it's gonna lose, its power as it gets down there. And so you have to understand that. For me, this gun, 100 yards and in, would be something I would look at when I'm doing a big game on a whitetail hunt or something along those lines. And really, honestly, I'd like it. Not saying it can't perform further, not saying that there's, you can't knock it down, but I like it inside of 60. I think it'd be a wonderful gun in heavy cover and this type of setup, and a great round for there. And we're gonna talk a lot more about it as we get ready to go out in the field. But right now, we're gonna run a few down range and see what we're dealing with.
If you missed the show last season, Jeff Reynolds used the 1854 to take down his first buck of the season, shooting the 44 mag. He knocked this one down from less than 50 yards.
Smell that. Oh, smell like a rotten butt.
Loaded up in the Yamaha RMAX 4 1000, Jeff got this one back to camp. Getting back in the field, we're headed out with Wade Middleton on a late afternoon hunt.
This is a cool area. You know, if you look at the stealth cam data and you look at the different things that we've shot and encountered here, this is a pretty game-rich area. We're still hunting with the 45 Colt. We've talked a lot about the capabilities, the muzzle speed, the Model 1854 that Smith Wesson has that we're hunting with, and it's just a cool platform, and hopefully something will get out there in range. Wind's perfect, kind of going back up that ridge right there. Stuff's probably going to come from behind us and over here, and maybe we'll get lucky. They smell us. There's a whitetail out in front of us. They're over there behind that tree where you shot your deer, or shot that aoudad.
You know, a lot of times my deer hunts turn into hog hunts pretty fast when I see them because they're just so destructive and I want to get rid of them all the time. And when these guys got out here in front, it didn't take me long to ask Gentry, are you good, are you ready? Biggest mistake on this, I only put 5 rounds in. I should have filled that magazine up because it didn't take me very long to rip through all 5 rounds on this. And
That's what lever action's pretty damn good for. That's 3 with 45 Long Colt, Model 1854 Smith Wesson. Whack, whack, whack. Feel like an old cowboy. Gotta put one more in.
we're in a full-time eradication model down here. And I mean, I was able to rip through 5 rounds very fast, knock down 2, wounded a 3rd one. We had a great hunt, saw a lot of different things, got busted a couple times, and had some aoudad in here pretty close, and then these pigs came running in, and I'm telling you right now, that's an automatic for me. Doing it with a lever action, as you watch that right there unfold, was even more fun. I mean, at 20 to 35 yards, I was able to work that lever action, and I hit 3, missed 1, and got rid of some varmints, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Do a lot of damage, and had a ton of fun doing it, and we're going to keep hunting with this. We're going to share more information on that 45 Colt, the Model 1854, and what we like to do with it. But you saw right there, if you like to hunt, you like fast action, kind of got a little bit of kick to the old Wild West, you can work that lever pretty fast, and it's pretty accurate as well. The Model 1854 from Smith & Wesson, there's a reason why it's become so popular, so fast, by so many people that like this type of a platform.
Check out the Smith & Wesson Lever Action 1854 and all its options at smith-wesson.com. We're in South Texas, midway between San Antonio and the border, where expansive flats of scrub brush and occasional water are home to a host of exotic species, an overabundance of hogs, and big Texas whitetail. We're in the field with Wade Middleton, hunting with the Smith & Wesson Model 1854 lever action rifle.
You know, I like to play the wind significantly in all of our hunts, and it wasn't long ago we had moved a big quad pod that Muddy makes over. We'd hooked it up, dropped it on a spot, put it on a trailer, spent some time kind of getting it off onto this flat that we call Devastation. And the reason we call it Devastation is all the other blinds got blown over, torn up, and this was kind of my last ditch effort. A lot of deer in this area. It's a big Sinisa mesquite flat with some live oaks off in the distance with water. It really is a favorite place for these deer in the pre-rut and rut to chase. A lot of deer bed up in the area, got some big flats. It's a very pretty place. It's not a place you probably would think about shooting this 45 Colt as a round because you got some long shots there. But based on the fact we had a cottonseed feeder in the area, we had a timer feeder, and had spread a little corn, and we'd hunted there enough, I felt like we could get them in range. So it was Jeff on my ride, Gentry was behind me, And man, it was such a cool hunt, seeing deer come from all different directions.
In a situation like this, first thing I'm doing, these are rangefinder binoculars that Cabela's has. And with this 45, I can understand that the cartridge has limitations, and I have limitations too. So really, anything over 80 kind of becomes pretty good of a poke in this wind and this type of a blind setup. And I'll be honest with you, I'd like it inside of 50. And that's really important when you get up here. You hear a lot of people, writers, talk about it, influencers, TV show guys, whoever, understanding your distances before you get up. And that's, what I've been doing is just scanning all these different bushes, so I know kind of what I'm dealing with in this type of situation. This particular stand, it's great for this northwest wind that we tend to get in late November, December, and January in this part of Texas. And you can see way off in the distance that oak bottom there, that's actually the creek that runs through this property. And a lot of these deer, that's where they're going to water, and that's where they come from. A lot more of them bed over here too. And this is just a great rutting area. Last year in the youth hunt, Cal and Nestle got in here and caught him one. Cullen Newby, he got one here, and so hopefully it'll be my turn to get one, because I'm pretty amped up about the weather, the excitement of hunting here, what I'm hunting with, and the time of the year. The rut is just kicking off. There's actually a big old scrape right under that mesquite tree there, and I guarantee you there's more of them out there. I just didn't look, so we're gonna hush up. We got binoculars, Jeff's here, Gentry's here, we got every angle covered, and I bet you we see something before the day's over.
Coming up, there's one in the distance, and we've got a lot of daylight left.
We're watching does and little bucks and all kinds of things cut across the Snesa, and man, the wind's perfect. It's right in our face. And I don't know, 200, 300, 400 yards away, you see this deer's head pop up. And it goes a little bit and you see him pop up. It goes a little bit and you see him pop up.
You see him? Right behind the dead mesquite, just to the right of the feeder. Looking over the Snesa. It's a good deer.
I knew pretty much, or I felt like I did what deer that was, and I already knew he was one that I had seen on scouting camera several times. I was pretty excited about it. And it was just a matter, would he come all the way through the Snesa fight and settle in the rain?
Got a doe to the right and staring at us. Just put her head down. crashed pretty hard. I saw him crash. Dude, he's a stud. I thought I missed. I saw dirt fly behind him and went right through him.
I thought you hit him because the dirt flew
Right at him. Holy cow, that's awesome. This is just like, if you like hunting in Texas, this is what it looks like. Mesquites, Sinisas, Wasatch. You can see for miles up here. You get up in a big old tripod. This is the one we all brushed in. And you can see that. I mean, we saw does, you know, coming in. Here'd be a doe, here'd be a doe, here'd be a little buck. And I mean, it's like I was thinking about shooting a doe because I need to fill the freezer, but I was like, this is a perfect day. And sure enough, you could see him. He started working his way back, working his way through there, and you'd see him. And Jeff and I were kind of, Jeff saw him first. He kind of pointed. I'd see his head, and he was like staring and looking, worked his way all the way around. I mean, like a dream. 45 Colt. This is cool. It's the first big deer I've shot with this. I've loved hunting with it. The Model 1854 Smith Wesson. It's fun to shoot. You can work it so fast. It's accurate. We got a Trigicon 1x4, which I think is perfect for this gun, for the range and the caliber. That was so cool. Can't wait to get my hands on him. Think I crushed him. I mean, we could see him plowing over there and heard him go down. I couldn't see him when he went that way because he was through the brush. So poor Gentry, he's been stuck back here a little bit easier. Wow. That was awesome. All right. I think we can start loading up. I think he's dead. Boom! Heck yeah, there he is. That's where I thought he went. That's where he went. God, look at this guy. Big old buck with a cool rack right there. One of them Sinisa mesquite ridge running, and boy, he smells like an old rutting buck right there. Let me drag him out of here just a little bit so everybody can get a view of him. Ah, God, what a cool deer. 10 points. You can see him out there in that brush. I mean, I love the coat on this deer. He's just shiny all the way around. Cool dark chocolate antlers. Old good class of a deer. I love that. Way his main beam just, I mean, it cuts in. He's got some little, I mean, when you talk about crab claws, that is a crab claw right there on the end of that. What a cool deer. He's been rubbing on the mesquites. You can see it. See it all right there. I love that deer. The memories of watching that deer out there coming through the brush, that'd be one that I will not forget ever. Watching him come in like that, how he was posturing. God, what a cool deer. I've got some scouting camera pictures, I'm pretty sure, of this deer because I remember those crab claws really good right there. That, folks, I mean, for me, I love everything about it. I mean, taking something with a different caliber than I've hunted with before, learning all what it does. I've taken other deer with the lever action that Smith & Wesson has. But when you get a chance to experience all the differences and the changes and learn other things, it's so cool in deer hunting to me. I wouldn't have cared whether I shot a big buck like this or a doe. I would have enjoyed the moment, but I'm not gonna lie, this just makes it a little more special, a lot more memories. And at the end of the day, freezer full of venison. This was a great hunt. It's been awesome talking about this 45, the lever action, the Trigicon scope, everything we put together to learn more about it. And now we get to celebrate this guy. That's a dandy of a buck right there.
It doesn't get much better than this hunt. The Smith & Wesson 1854 lever action rifle lived up to all expectations. Learn more at smith-wesson.com. Well, that should do it this week from South Texas. Keep up with the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries on Facebook or Instagram, or check out our YouTube page for videos.